Hello, and welcome to today's briefing. I'm Dana, and joining me is Matt. We've got a packed show covering politics, economy, sports, and more.
That's right, Dana. I'm Matt. Let's dive into our first story.
Israel reportedly shared intelligence with the U.S. about a new Iranian plot to assassinate former President Donald Trump. The sources say this intelligence was shared recently, adding to the tensions between the U.S. and Iran.
That's a pretty serious allegation. Do we know what specific actions Iran is planning, according to the intelligence shared?
The reports indicate that Iran has devised a new and specific plan, but details are scarce. The sources are familiar with the matter, and it was reported by CNN.
I see. So what's the current state of U.S.-Iran relations? Has there been any official response from either side?
Tensions are escalating, and there are fears of a return to all-out war. The U.S. and Iranian attacks have been renewed, raising the stakes significantly.
That's concerning. It seems like this intelligence sharing is part of a larger context of heightened tensions. Have there been any other recent developments in this saga?
Actually, just recently, Trump revealed that he's left instructions for the U.S. to respond with overwhelming military force if Iran were to assassinate him.
Wow, that's a strong statement. How does that fit into the current dynamics between the U.S. and Iran?
It adds another layer of tension. Trump's statement suggests a readiness for significant retaliation, which could escalate the situation further.
Right. And what about Israel's role in all this? They're the ones who shared the intelligence.
Israel's sharing of intelligence indicates their concern about Iranian activities and possibly their desire to keep the U.S. informed and involved.
That makes sense. Okay, let's move on to our next story.
King Charles III has hosted Prince Harry and his family for the first time in years, marking a potential step towards healing their family rift.
That's interesting. The rift has been going on since Prince Harry and his wife moved to America. What's the current state of their relationship?
It seems they're trying to repair it. The meeting was seen as a positive step, although details about the meeting are limited.
I wonder what prompted this sudden effort to mend fences. Was there any specific incident or change that led to this meeting?
The reports don't specify, but it's clear that both sides are making an effort. Perhaps there's a realization that the rift has gone on long enough.
That's a good point. Family dynamics can be complicated, especially under public scrutiny. Let's see how this develops.
Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, has announced plans to return to Bangladesh in December despite facing a death sentence.
That's a bold move. What are her reasons for returning, given the risks involved?
She mentioned that she might get arrested or even killed, but she feels compelled to return and surrender to the courts.
I see. It sounds like she's trying to make a statement or test the judicial system in Bangladesh.
Exactly. She's planning to return with senior Awami leaders, indicating a coordinated effort.
This could have significant political implications for Bangladesh. Do we know how the current government is likely to respond?
The reports don't provide a clear response from the government, but given the death sentence against her, it's likely they'll take her into custody.
That's right. This could lead to a lot of political maneuvering. Let's switch gears a bit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in New Zealand on the final leg of his three-nation tour, aiming to strengthen trade, security, and Indo-Pacific cooperation.
This is a significant visit, especially since it's the first time an Indian Prime Minister has visited New Zealand in 40 years.
That's right. The visit is expected to give fresh momentum to bilateral ties, especially after the signing of the India-New Zealand Free Trade Agreement.
So what's on the agenda for his meetings with New Zealand's Prime Minister Luxon?
The focus will be on enhancing trade and security cooperation, as well as discussing regional issues in the Indo-Pacific.
It's interesting to see India strengthening its ties in the region. How does this fit into India's broader foreign policy strategy?
India is actively seeking to expand its economic and strategic partnerships, and New Zealand is a key player in the Indo-Pacific region.
That makes sense. Okay, let's move on.
We've already touched on this, but to recap, Trump said he's authorized military retaliation against Iran if they were to assassinate him.
Yes, and it's a pretty stark warning. Do we know what specific actions he's authorized?
Trump mentioned that the U.S. would bomb them like they've never seen before, indicating a significant military response.
That's a very aggressive statement. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the context of US-Iran relations.
SK Hynix, a major memory chip maker, had a significant U.S. market debut, with its stock spiking 14%.
That's a substantial jump. What were the details of their listing?
They raised $26.5 billion, pricing their ADRs at $149 each. It's one of the largest trading debuts ever.
Wow, that's impressive. What does this say about investor appetite for chip companies, especially those involved in AI?
It indicates robust demand. SK Hynix is a leading supplier of high-bandwidth memory chips critical for AI applications.
That makes sense. The AI supply chain is a hot area right now. Okay, let's move on.
Canada's unemployment rate dropped to 6.5% in June as the economy added 18,000 jobs.
That's a positive sign. What were the details of the job gains?
The job market showed resilience with a modest gain that beat expectations. The unemployment rate edged down 0.1 percentage points.
So, what does this say about the state of Canada's labor market?
It suggests that despite some challenges, the labor market is holding up relatively well.
That's good to hear. Okay, what's next?
Kia America has issued a new recall for nearly 460,000 Telluride SUVs due to a fire risk, advising owners to park outside.
That's a significant recall. What caused the fire risk?
The reports indicate that there were several customer complaints of fires following previous repairs, prompting the new recall.
I see. So Kia is taking proactive steps to address the issue. Have there been any injuries or fatalities reported?
The reports don't mention any specific incidents of injuries or fatalities related to this latest recall.
Okay, let's move on to sports.
France secured a 2-0 victory over Morocco, advancing to the World Cup semifinals.
That was a decisive win. What were the key moments in the match?
Kylian Mbappé scored his 20th World Cup goal, and France's defense held strong against Morocco's attacks.
Mbappé is clearly a key player for France. How does this win position France in the tournament?
They move on to the semifinals, where they'll face a tough opponent, likely either Spain or Belgium.
That's right. The competition is heating up. Let's talk about another sports story.
Jannik Sinner defeated Novak Djokovic in the Wimbledon semifinals, setting up a final against Zverev.
That's a big upset. What was the outcome of the match?
Sinner won in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, showcasing his strong form.
Sinner is the defending champion, so this continues his momentum. What's the significance of this win for him?
It shows he's still a top contender, and he's looking to defend his title against Zverev.
That'll be a great final. Okay, let's switch to entertainment.
Taylor Swift paid $160,000 for a New York City permit to hold her wedding at Madison Square Garden.
That's a hefty sum. What did the permit cover?
It covered police security and street closures for the event, indicating a significant logistical effort.
I can imagine. Celebrity weddings can be quite elaborate. What's the context around this wedding?
Swift married Travis Kelce, and the event was highly publicized, drawing a lot of attention.
That makes sense. Okay, what's next in entertainment?
The Delhi High Court upheld actor Rajpal Yadav's conviction in a check bounce case, sentencing him to 3 months in jail.
That's a significant legal setback for him. What were the details of the case?
Yadav was convicted for bounced checks related to a loan taken for a film over 15 years ago.
I see. So this is a long-standing issue. Has he made any efforts to settle the dispute?
He had deposited some money and made partial payments, but the court ultimately upheld the conviction.
Okay, let's move on to our final stories.
The UN reports that at least 1 million women have lost access to humanitarian aid due to budget cuts over the past 18 months.
That's a staggering number. What are the implications of these funding cuts?
Women's organizations worldwide are struggling, with many facing possible closure due to reduced international assistance.
That's concerning. What does this say about the current state of global humanitarian support?
It highlights the challenges in maintaining critical support, especially for vulnerable populations.
That's a critical issue. Let's wrap up with one more story.
Fidji Simo, OpenAI's #2 executive, is stepping down to focus on her health recovery after a medical leave.
That's a significant change. What led to her decision?
She began a medical leave in April due to a severe flare of a chronic condition and has decided to step down permanently.
I hope she recovers well.
This must be a challenging time for OpenAI, given the recent leadership changes.
Yes, it is. OpenAI has seen several senior departures this year, adding to the uncertainty about its future direction.
That's right. Leadership stability is crucial, especially for a company at the forefront of AI development.
Well, that's all for today's briefing. Thanks for joining me, Matt.
Thanks, Dana. It's been a comprehensive look at the day's top stories.
Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.